Hi, I'm Paul Chilo, Governance, Risk and Compliance Director and Data Protection Officer at SOPHiA GENETICS. We've been collaborating with ILUMAD about SOPHiA Unity project. So this project is a global consortium of healthcare institutions with SOPHiA GENETICS to advance precision oncology research and data-driven patient care. It connects leading healthcare institutions together to foster research on oncology and gathering high-quality, real-world multimodal data sets. So this new network will be focusing on different type of cancer, breast cancer, sarcoma, lung cancer, and of course more to come. Any project at SOPHiA GENETICS always starts with a feasibility assessment to account technical aspects, of course, but also compliance aspects, so privacy and regulatory requirements. And we knew that creating this global scale network would require to analyze different regulations around the world. And we knew that we needed expertise that would come from external provider, and that's how we came to work together. When you are working with different healthcare institutions around the world, you have different data protection regulations, different regulations applicable to research also. So you need to define a strategy to identify the gaps between different legislation and build the bridges between those gaps to make sure your project is going the right way. And of course prepare all the documentation around the requirements and how we comply with the requirements to build this SOPHiA Unity project. So the perfect match would have been someone with expertise in data protection, that's baseline, expertise in the healthcare domain and sector, experience in building similar projects, and of course an agile, I would say, team that could respond to our ever-evolving project and requests to be really adaptive. The first thing we did with you guys was to review the different legislation in the countries where we intended to deploy SOPHiA Unity. We started with key European countries such as Italy, as you said, but we also had Spain, France, and the UK. And what was really interesting in our collaboration is that you didn't just limit your review at analyzing the legislation, but really reach out to local contacts, also local regulatory authorities, to make sure that you have the right insights and actionable insights for us to really make sure that the way we'll be building this project is in accordance with the regulation, but also with the practice law. In this company, in SOPHiA GENETICS, and if you talk with our CEO, this is always something that he is reminding us, privacy is a really important component. So working in countries where you have a very stringent regulatory framework, data protection framework with requirements, it's a necessity. We aim to comply with it because in the end, we have the patient's data that we are collecting through this network with the healthcare institution. So protecting this is really important to us. Now about having more or less details in the regulation or more guidances from regulatory authorities. To be honest, the more requirements and guidances you have, the easier to navigate this and to make sure that you are going the right way. France is a good example for that. A lot of guidances are provided by the CNIL. It's always really helpful. Canada was a complex one because you have, of course, the federal level legislation, the provinces level legislation, and navigating between those two levels is not always easy. Some provinces they have detailed framework like in Quebec, others a bit less, and so that's where you identify the gray area, and gray area in compliance is always difficult. Well, data transfer is I think for every company a really difficult topic to navigate. It's usually we think that the most stringent requirements are in Europe, but other countries have really stringent requirements in terms of transferring health data. So that's really a difficult piece when you are building such a project, and you have to really identify and to find the right balance between using only anonymized data and creating those anonymized data set without impacting the research you want to conduct. So that's quite a challenge. Yeah, more and more regulation are coming on AI. We have the AI Act in Europe, so this is something that we are really looking into it, definitely. But the goals of this legislation are always the same. Protection of the individual, transparency, and that is always a challenge to document how the AI is working, and to be transparent with your customers and individuals whom data will be processed in those AI systems. But again, it seems to be a burden. However, it forces all the companies to be more transparent.